Every act you perform in life carries more weight than you can see with your eyes. Especially acts of kindness. You might think a smile, a meal, or a word of encouragement to a street child is small, insignificant. But in the realm of destiny, nothing is ever small. Nothing is ever wasted. Every action is a seed. And the mystery of seeds is that they do not look like the harvest they carry. A simple act of kindness might seem like a passing moment to you, forgotten in the rush of life, but heaven never forgets. There are books being written and pages being turned, even when you're unaware. You may never know the full weight of your action until years have passed, when the seed becomes a tree and its fruit finds you. This is why you must live aware that life is not random, and that you are called to plant destiny in the soil of ordinary days. When you choose to bless the forgotten, lift the broken, or feed the poor, not for show, but from the heart, you are aligning with a higher design. That design is unseen but powerful. The boy you gave food to today may carry the wisdom of nations tomorrow. The one you encouraged may rise as a voice to millions. You thought you were helping someone survive, but you were actually helping someone become. The act might have lasted a minute, but its echo could shake generations. There are moments in life we dismiss, moments we forget, but heaven does not forget. Every act of compassion, every time you stop to help someone in need, every time you gave without expecting a return, these are recorded in places we cannot see. Often, the acts we barely remember are the very ones God uses to unlock future blessings. That moment you gave your lunch to a hungry child, or spoke gently to someone society had cast aside, it might have seemed small, maybe even forgettable. But in the divine order, it was weighty. God's ways are not like ours. He sees the hidden, values the overlooked, and stores the kindness you've poured out. You may have forgotten, but it's written. Sometimes we cry out to heaven, asking for breakthrough, not realizing the answer is already being shaped, through the good we've done in silence. The test was never announced. It came in a human form, often in rags, sometimes in tears, but always with purpose. Heaven watched how you responded. And when the time is right, the same door you opened for someone else may be the one God opens for you. What you forgot, God didn't. What you did in secret, He remembers. And when it returns, it comes multiplied beyond measure. There are things hidden in places we often ignore. The divine pattern throughout history has always been this: God hides greatness in low places. The child in rags, the beggar on the corner, the orphan with no voice, these are not mistakes. They are tests, they are carriers of hidden glory. The street boy you see today may be the architect of a future nation. But we miss it because we judge by what we see. We value appearance, education, wealth. But heaven values humility, destiny, and potential. Just as kings were once shepherds, and prophets once outcasts, so too are tomorrow's giants hidden among today's forgotten. If you look closely, you'll see the fingerprints of purpose on people the world has written off. This is why kindness is not weakness, it is discernment. When you honor the poor, you may be touching a seed of greatness. When you lift the broken, you may be aligning with the future. God often wraps glory in disguise. He conceals treasure in earthen vessels. What the world throws away, God calls chosen. And if you respond with love, you become part of a sacred process. The boy you help today may be the CEO who returns tomorrow, not just with riches, but with a heart that remembers who saw him before the world did. In the journey of life, there are sacred moments disguised as ordinary ones. Sometimes, without warning, life presents you with a test, a person in need, a face in the crowd, a cry no one else hears. These moments may seem unimportant, but they are divine intersections. How you respond in these unseen places can unlock the very things you've been praying for. The key to the extraordinary often lies hidden in the ordinary. A simple act of compassion, a gentle word, or a quiet sacrifice can become the turning point of your story. People wait for signs and miracles, yet they ignore the voice of purpose wrapped in everyday opportunities. You never know what your kindness is opening. A door? A destiny? A legacy? There are moments when God watches, not to test your strength, but to weigh your heart. He places greatness on your path, but it doesn't always look like greatness. It looks like a hungry child, a broken stranger, a lonely soul. Your reaction in that moment becomes a seed. And if it is planted with love, it grows into something eternal. The world may not see it, but heaven does. And when the time comes, that very seed of kindness may become the answer to your need. Before great elevation comes a quiet test, and that test often comes clothed in humility and need. The path to the throne is not paved with gold but with hidden trials, moments when the Creator sends someone to your doorstep not to burden you, but to reveal your heart. That poor child you passed, the hungry soul you fed, the stranger you clothed, none of them were accidents. They were divine assignments. Before Joseph ruled Egypt, he served in a prison. Before David became king, he was an unnoticed shepherd. And before many rise, they are tested, not with riches, but with the poor, the rejected, and the forgotten. When you show kindness to someone with nothing to offer, you reveal your true character. These moments are not random, they are divine filters. Heaven is watching. Not for perfection, but for compassion. You may never know who is standing before you. The one in tattered clothes may carry $1 billion vision. The eyes filled with sorrow may one day light up boardrooms. But before that day comes, God gives you the opportunity to see with the eyes of mercy. If you pass the test, the reward will find you. Not only in heaven, but here, when the child you helped returns, not in rags, but in royalty. Kindness is never wasted. It is never lost in the winds of time. Though the world may forget, though people may overlook it, every act of kindness is a seed planted in eternity. And when it returns, it does not return the same, it returns multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. You may show love in a moment and forget it by evening, but heaven remembers. That piece of bread you gave to a hungry child, that moment you chose to stop and listen, that simple gesture of honor towards someone broken, these are not small. They are the beginnings of miracles. Life is a circle, and what you give always finds its way back. Sometimes years later. Sometimes in ways you didn't expect. That child you helped may one day hold the power to change your life. And when he returns, he brings more than thanks, he brings restoration, opportunity, and reward beyond what you imagined. This is the divine economy, what is done in love never dies. So give without expecting. Serve without needing applause. Love without reason. Because the harvest is always greater than the seed. And when kindness returns, it doesn't just bless you, it reveals who you truly are in the eyes of heaven.